This program...
A bad break either. Only Love, one of the best out, but quickly headed by Echo Thea as Only Love settles in about 2 lengths away. Going smartly is White Queen, followed closely then on the inside by Zojo, and making ground around them is Amplitude. About 1.5 lengths to Law of Logic, Tipsy Feeling, 2 lengths then to Jestress inside Marflight from Tragic Star, and Like a Plum is the tail ender. Echo Thea 800 to go. Leads nearly 2 lengths on White Queen. Only Love travelling third as they string out. 2 lengths to Amplitude around Zojo, and another couple to Lord of Logic, and then Jestress Marflight. 3 or 4 lengths then Tragic Star, and 6 or 8 lengths to Like a Plum. This is the order heading onto the corner at the 450, and the leader is the Northern Horse, Echo Thea. And around the corner she comes, 1.5 lengths, White Queen, 1 to Only Love, followed closely by Amplitude. Here comes Marflight putting in her claim on the outside. Law of Logic trying to weave clear. There's a run if good enough, but as they come down to the 200, Echo Thea, 1/2 length on White Queen, 1 length to Marflight, and then comes Only Love. Echo Thea just the leader. White Queen, a wobbler in the ringers, cutting her down. She's going better. And is this the start of a big carnival for Bart Cummings and Beatman? It might be. White Queen, too good for Echo Thea. Only Love third from Marflight. Law of Logic, Tragic Star. Good margin then came Jestress, followed by Amplitude. Second last was Zojo. Last of all, Like a Plum. And of course the late scratching number 12, Zabeelsville. Well, she was a ring wobbler, but she was too good for them. White Queen, but always very solid on the New South Wales tote.
On the Super Tab, $3 150, number 7 Echo Thea $3.70, and number 3 Only Love $2.90. Shortly out to Tony Campbell at the Canberra Racecourse for preview there.
White Queen, number 1 at $3.30 and $1.60. Number 7 second, Echo Thea. D. McClellan battled on very well to pay $3.20. And number 3 Only Love, ridden by J. Sheehan, third at $2.70. White Queen has run 110.80. 110.80. The time is 1.1 outside Antellier's class record, and the winner is by Dane Hill from Gypsy's Hope, a grey filly 3, trained by Bart Cummings, Fidato Tan, Chinnam and D. Beedman aboard. Who knows, they could be in for a super carnival. With, of course, more to come this afternoon. Saintly, Cattle and opening, and of course Saintly in the Metrop on Monday. But back to business here, 173, number 11 officially fourth, and that was Marflight, given every possible hope. Quinella 23.90, Exacta paid $35.30, and the trifecta 195.90. The margins, half neck by 2 1/4 lengths, half neck by 2 1/4 lengths. Now, Rod, any late news on the first race in Brisbane?
The scratching off and running here at Flemington. They've come away in a pretty good line too. And one of the best to begin down on the inside was getting out pretty quickly, Paris Archway, taken on quickly by Poetic Show, and further out Sober Affair. Good pace early, Poetic Show in the middle and Sober Affair, 1.5 lengths, Paris Archway, 2 to Maximal, a half Cool Choice, 1 there to Express Age, and they went fast early. 2 further back, Portland Player over on the inside of Rustic Dream, 3 further back, Rathseller. Alpha's a mile back, Lord Ted's got up on the inside of it, near the tail of the field now. Carrying down the side as Kings of Fire at the 850 metre mark, and Sober Affair back the speed by a length now to Poetic Show. Maximal went up third, Cool Choice is fourth, out 3 deep. A length further back, Paris Archway from Rustic Dream. Alpha taken out wide. Further back in the race then Portland Player, then Rathseller from Lord Ted, Express Age, and last of all is Kings of Fire. Around the turn they come now, and off the fence Sober Affair, joined by Poetic Show on the fence, 2 to Paris Archway, Maximal. Cool Choice further out in the track. Out in the centre now is Alpha running on fairly from Rustic Dream. Portland Player a long way back from Lord Ted. Down at the 300 metre mark, Cool Choice moving up to Sober Affair. A length into Alpha, still making up ground. Alpha's coming after Cool Choice now. The favourite ranges up Alpha now, hands and heels. Hits the lead from Cool Choice, Sober Affair. Then further back was Rustic Dream and Lord Ted, but Alpha draws away. Too good Alpha. Good win. Alpha comes on and wins by 2.5 in the run home. Photo the Miners, little between Rustic Dream and Cool Choice. A gap Lord Ted who ran on from Sober Affair. Then Maximal. Portland Player never came into it. From Paris Archway, Kings of Fire, a gap to Poetic Show, Express Age and Rathseller down at the tail.
2 Alpha at $2.80 and $1.50, 4 Rustic Dream $6.10, 3 Cool Choice at $5.
2 Alpha, $2.70, $1.50, number 4 Rustic Dream to return $5.80, and number 3 Cool Choice to return $4.60. Correct weight at the Gold Coast on the first event on the program.
Now, I'd say we're racing this time, and the favourite Pennines got out well, and so did Scottsdale and Tertiary. Grey Marger not far away, and Hockney moving up towards the leaders, and then Jarvis Jewel followed closely then by Captain Dash and Serene Cove. A good margin off to Bound by Silence, and then comes Wender's New Spec, and hello, something's got to miss with Grey and Gold. It's tailed right off. They go down to the 600 metres, and Scottsdale is the leader narrowly. From Hockney, Pennines and Grey Marger making a line of 4, 2 lengths, then Serene Cove, Captain Dash, followed by Jarvis Jewel, and another 2 lengths further back in the field is Tertiary. Bound by Silence, Wender's New Spec, and Grey and Gold won't complete the course. In the stretch on top of the rise in the Ingham pair, Hockney and Pennines just in front of Scottsdale. Grey Marger and Captain Dash is making a dash at the stablemates, Hockney and Pennines. It's Hockney ahead in front of Pennines. Captain Dash can't reach them. Hockney holding the more fancied Pennines, who's making a drive but too late, and Hockney gets the money. Hockney a neck to Pennines, third Captain Dash, and then Tertiary. Grey Marger followed by Serene Cove, Scottsdale, Wenders, and over on the rails next was Bound by Silence, New Spec, and then Jarvis Jewel. And now let's have a look for Grey for Gold. Just trotting into the home straight now. Don't know what has gone amiss, so...
On the Super Tab 8, Hockney, 590, 190. Number 11, Pennines to return 140. And number 5, Captain Dash, 520.
Got Grey for Gold. The second pick on the New South Wales tote. Something obviously going amiss with it. Number 8 is the winner here. Hockney has paid $6.210. $6.210. 11 Pennines second will pay $1.40, and Captain Dash, for whom there's a little bit of money at a longer quote, number 5 will end up at $4.20. So the Inghams have Quinella the Canonbury Stakes. Hockney, a son of Quest for Fame from Artistic Princess, a Bayer Brown Colt to Johnny Hawkes Grant Cooksley. And, well, that's very encouraging from an Australian breeding viewpoint. Quest for Fame, an English Derby winner, and of course is a dual season stallion, stands his Australian spring, of course, at the Ingham's Woodland Stud up in the Denman area. And this horse, it's great to see a staying horse getting early comers. He had a couple go around on the Breeders' Plate, and this fella Hockney, so that could be quite a boost for the Australian racing scene, and particularly if he's going to inject stamina into them as well. 8, 11 and 5. Pennine second, Masqué Malden Maid, John Hawkes, Darren Beedman. 5 third, Captain Dash, Rustic Amber, Danson Singh, Bob Elliott, John Marshall. 7 ran fourth, Grey Marger. 14 was fifth, and that was Tertiary. The time was 58.24. 58.24, that's .03 only outside Strategic's race record, and 34.42 is the sectional time. The Quinella has paid $7.60 and the exacta $15.90. Trifecta $260.70, and the margins were a neck by a length and a half. A neck, a length and a half. More Sydney news in just a moment. What's happening elsewhere, Rod?
Well, in the
Legend goes, and Euro Legend goes up to National Law at the 2,000 now, and it's Euro Legend a half in front of National Law. Mr. Stenemar's caught deep. I think he'll push on towards the front now. Mr. Stenemar, he's out 3 deep, but he's going up to Euro Legend. National Law went back to third, 1.5 centre court. Wonder Zamanui Naruma Guy moving away at the 1800. 2 further back, Gek War on the outside of Constant Pressure. 3 to Cockay, Wonder Legs Ahoy. Wriggles Glory last of all. At the 1700 metre mark they race, and the leader is Euro Legend a half in front. Mr. Stenemar second. 2 further back, National Law. Centre court is over on the inside running fourth. Zamanui fifth. 1 further back moving away from Naruma Guy. 1 further back, Constant Pressure, Gek War, followed by Legs Ahoy. Cockade outside it, and 2 to Wriggles Glory last of all. 1400 to go into the back, and Euro Legend and controlled by nearly a length. Mr. Stenemar second, 2 to National Law third. No change in the order. Fourth on the fence is Centre Court. She's getting a nice run. 2 lengths to Zamanui. 3 further back as they string out now would have been moving away outside at Naruma Guy. 2 to Gek War, just worse than midfield outside Constant Pressure. 2 to Legs Ahoy. Cockade outside it following Gek War, and last of all Wriggles Glory. At the 1,000 now they race in the rain, still tumbling down, and Euro Legend led 3/4 Mr. Stenemar. 2 to National Law, who goes up third on the outside of Centre Court, and Zamanui pushed up in the middle. 2 further back moving away. Gek War given a crack with a whip outside.
Direct weight at Ramwick.
Constant Pressure held up. Cockade to the outside, a length and a half further back. Legs Ahoy. Wriggles Glory last of all, going down to the 700 metre mark, and National Law striding quickly now up on the outside of Euro Legend. 2 to Zamanui. Centre Court coming off the fence. Further back in the race then came moving away Geck War, hard ridden. Behind it, Cockade. When they turn from Constant Pressure, Regal's Glory and Mr. Stanimar has dropped to the back. In the straight they race. National Law 2.5, centre court after it. Then You're a Legend. Geck War's a mile from them at the moment. Not in the race from Zamanui and further back Cockade. But National Law down at the 300-metre mark, 4 lengths in front. Over centre court, Regal's Glory coming home well. Legs Ahoy back to the rail. National Law 2 in front. On the inside is Legs Ahoy from Regal's Glory, then centre court. National Law getting tired. Legs Ahoy slowly getting to it. National Law in front. Legs Ahoy levels on the inside. National Law and Legs Ahoy. National Law, Legs Ahoy, nothing in it. 4 away, third in the race, Regal's Glory, Constant Pressure. Then centre court, followed by Moving Away. A long gap in the race, then to Zamanui, Narima Guy, followed by Cockade. Well back, Geck War never came into the race from You're a Legend, and Mr. Stanimar has tailed off.
Number 4, National Law, 9.30, 2.90, or 6 Legs Ahoy at 8.50 and 2.80 for third. 8 Regal's Glory, $8.
For National Law, 9.40 and 2.70 on Super Tab. 6 Legs Ahoy to pay 10.23.10 and 8 Regal's Glory, 6.60. Second against first, Brisbane Protest.
Margin there and nose. Protest second against first. A photo wall placing.
Onto the course proper, they run 1100 left to travel, and Excelling shows the way a length and 3/4 on King Ivor. Third is My Prince now, followed on the fence by Turn Me Loose, and about 2.5 to Mix the Truth, and a length and 3/4 to York. Over the crossing at the 800 metres, and now Brian York goes to the lead on the favourite King Ivor. It opens up a length and a half, Turn Me Loose, and Excelling goes back into third position, so we've had 3 leaders, even at this early stage in the small field, and then Mix the Truth, My Prince, and last of all is York. Onto the home corner, about, say, 6 to 7 lengths would cover the field, and King Ivor will be first into the stretch. About a length on Turn Me Loose. Excelling over on the inside. Mix the Truth wider out. York the fence, and My Prince outside of York. In the stretch now, and on top of the rise, 3.50 to run. King Ivor the leader. 3/4 Turn Me Loose. Now a length as Brian York gives the favourite rein. York has got into the open for Darren Beatman, but King Ivor slipped away and down towards the 120. This is home. Only interest in second now, and it's Excelling at the moment from Turn Me Loose, but King Ivor treats his rivals with contempt. It's King Ivor by 3.5 to Excelling, and neck third was Turn Me Loose. York ran fourth. Fifth on the inside, My Prince, and the only runner that won't get prize money is Mix the Truth.
Protest uphill, Brisbane. New numbers race 2 a 7-2-4.
Winner here is number 2, King Ivor.
On the Super Tab in Sydney, number 2 King Ivor to return 170 and $1.20. Number 3 Excelling to pay 2.50. No third for 6 Turn Me Loose.
20. Number 3 second Excelling has paid 2.80, and there'll be no third dividend. Winner by Fairy King Ivor. So he's certainly making a name for himself in the siring business. Fairy King, he's a full brother to that great sire Sadler's Wells, and King Ivor is from Royal Ivor. Beautifully bred colt, raced by the Guri Pastoral Company, and trained by Jack Denham and ridden by Brian York. Number 3 second Excelling, a 3-year-old bay gelding by Mr. C from Flamont, Brian Guy, Andrew Gibbons, and number 6 third Turn Me Loose is by Bess Western Mithra, Bay Colt 3, Bart Cummings, Kevin Moses. Number 1 York 4th, number 5 My Prince 5th, and 6th and last was number 4 Mix the Truth. Time 1:22.48, 1:22.48. The sectional run will be up in a moment. That time is only 0.18 outside Young Willie's class record on a fast track, which was established way back in September of 1981. Here's Tony with the sectional. Thank you. 35.11 it is. 35.11. 3.5 lengths was the official winning margin, with a long head between second and third. 3.5 a long head. The Quinella 360, Exacta $4.40, and the trifecta returns $20.80. The odds on pop much too good in the third race in Sydney. Rodney.
Racing this time. Chlorophyll began okay. Brave lead, one of the first out. Chlorophyll picking up speed. Going forward now from Eastern Zone, River Tame, Miss Margaret when they settled from Kahuna Queen. Then Central Express, Monica, and further back in the race, Tenacity from Catrell and New Smyrna. Chlorophyll went up on the inside, kept the lead now, and they go to the 1100 metre mark, a length in front of Brave lead. 2 further back in the race, then Eastern Zone, Kahuna Queen 3 deep. River Tame back running 5th in the middle. 1 then to Central Express outside Miss Margaret, the rail. 2 to Tenacity. Tenacity. They're followed by Monica, 3 further back, New Smyrna, 2 to Cottrell. The leader, Chlorophyll, at the 850 metre mark, in control by a length. The Brave leader, half Kahuna Queen, 2 to Central Express up 4th from Eastern Zone, hard ridden from River Tane. Tenacity pulled around the outside of Miss Margaret, followed by Monica. Then New Smyrna and 5 lengths Cottrell, having its ears ridden off. Up before the turn at the 550, and the leader, Chlorophyll, under a good hold in front here from Marshall. 2 in front of Brave lead, 2 to Kahuna Queen. Central Express is out deep, a gap, Miss Margaret, Tenacity. Then River Tane from New Smyrna, and further back Monica. At the 350 metre mark, Chlorophyll over a length in front from Kahuna Queen. Struggling Brave lead, and then Central Express. A gap in the race, Tenacity from New Smyrna, but Chlorophyll down to the 200. Marshall gives it a slap down the neck. It's 3 in front, is holding the second mare, Kahuna Queen, at bay. Oh, Chlorophyll, the Sydney mare, she's too classy for these. She draws away from Kahuna Queen. A battle for third, but it's Chlorophyll too good by 3.5 from the run to the line. Second is Kahuna Queen, 3 away third. Central Express a nose, Tenacity, a gap, New Smyrna. Then Brave lead, followed by Monica, Cottrell. River Tane a mile back with Miss Margaret, obviously never happy, and back with her as Eastern Zone.
Number 1, Chlorophyll, 310, 160, 5 Kahuna Queen, 310, third 11, Central Express at 290.
1 Chlorophyll to return 330, 160. Number 5 Kahuna Queen to pay 340, and possibly 11 for third. Central Express to pay $3 even. This is Triple S, the Good Sports on the National Racing and Sporting Service. They're getting close to a start for the second on the program in Canberra.
And one of the best to get going, Magic of Sydney. Super Steam jumped out well, as did Dibbles Dane and Dual Dilemma, and moving forward quickly is Don Tristram. A couple of lengths then to Sharp Lord, 3 deep, Ebony Grove in the middle, and Our Banker on the fence. A couple then to Truly Halo and a half Toledo. Magic of Sydney is the leader as they work to the first corner here at the 1600 metres. Magic of Sydney a half length on Don Tristram, a length and a half to Dibbles Dane. Inclined to throw his head around a little on the outside of Dual Dilemma. Then comes on the outside Sharp Lord, shading the Super Steam from Truly Halo around Ebony Grove. Second last is Toledo, pulling his head off, and a length and a half to 2 further back is Our Banker. As they race down the back of the course, a bit of speed coming into the affair now to the 1200, where Harry Troy goes to the lead on Don Tristram, 3/4 to a length. Dibbles Dane, Magic of Sydney gets into third now, and Toledo, who'd been yanking for rain, goes up outside of Magic of Sydney, a length and a quarter then coming. Sharp Lord, he's also tending to over race, and around him Truly Halo. Dual Dilemma on the inside from Super Steam, a couple further back Ebony Grove, and a length to Our Banker. As they work onto the side of the track and come down to the 850, crossing Don Tristram from Toledo, quickly whipping up to second, and in fact he'll be in front shortly and past the 800 metres. On the inside, Don Tristram tackled by Toledo. Toledo got his head in front momentarily. 3 Dibbles Dane, a half to Magic of Sydney, and 2 to Sharp Lord, and then Dual Dilemma. A length Truly Halo, Ebony Grove, Super Steam, and last of all is Our Banker. The Spring Champion Stakes field comes onto the corner at the 450, and Don Tristram about a length and 3/4, 2 lengths now Toledo. Third Magic of Sydney, followed on the inside by Dibbles Dane, and then comes Dual Dilemma and Ebony Grove. 250 to travel, and Shane Dye gives the favourite his head, and Magic of Sydney bounded away from Don Tristram. Dual Dilemma going out after the leader, Magic of Sydney, with Ebony Grove. Magic of Sydney is pulling out Putty, but here's Ebony Grove coming at him. Ebony Grove runs to Magic of Sydney. Magic of Sydney hanging on. He's got there. Magic of Sydney, game as they come. Just wins from Ebony Grove, Dual Dilemma, then Dibbles Dane, Don Tristram, Toledo. At the head of the others, then Truly Halo, followed home by Sharp Lord, Super Steam, and Absolute Our Banker.
1 Magic of Sydney, 150 and $1.10. Number 3 Ebony Grove to return 160, and number 4 Dual Dilemma, 150.
Shane Dye, 160 and 120. Ebony Grove has frightened the life out of Magic of Sydney. He came at him, he couldn't quite get him, and on the line there'd be about a short half head in it, with Dual Dilemma in third spot. Number 1 $1.60 and $1.20. Number 3 showing at $1.50. Number 4 Dual Dilemma at $1.50. The overall time for the race was pretty muddling early, 2:03.97. The numbers are official, 134. Magic of Sydney, Ebony Grove, Dual Dilemma. Number 7 was 4th, Don Tristram. Number 5 was 5th, Toledo. And the 6th position to 6 Devil's Dane. 1, 3, 4, 7, 5 and 6. A gutsy colt, this fella. By Dane Hill from Eloquent Edition, trained by Gay Waterhouse for Tommy Smith, Tony Huang, J.C. Wu, Y. Gayo. And this 3-year-old bay colt has had 9 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds and a third. And today he earned for his connections $238,000, which takes his overall money to around $440,000.
As called Kembla 517.
The Quinella in New South Wales, 420, trifecta 1270. Exacta was $5.10, and there wasn't much in it. It was a short half head with 3/4 of a length between second and third. A short half head, 3/4, 203.97. Here's Tony with a breakdown. Thank you, sir. 35.59, 35.59, and the first 1,000 metres took a slow 63.54. So he's a big fella, Magic of Sydney. He's tough. And he'll now go to Melbourne, and he'll be more than competitive in the rich 3-year-old classics during this fabulous spring carnival that we're about to approach down south. Now, before we go on any further here in Sydney,
let's have a look at an update for
the Turnbull. They bounced in a good line too. First out, Love Dance on the inside. Circles of Gold and Rose of Portland began brilliantly, and hunting up is Crying Game. Pace Keen early now. Circles of Gold, Love Dance, Crying Game, and Rose of Portland's out. 4 and 5 wide was Salius. Then Toil from Munwar, followed by French Resort. Over along the inside, then when they settle down now, would have been My Kiwi Gold, followed by Storm. Then St Shannon, Sharon Tessa, Count Shivers, further back Cheviot. Doremus back second last, and Boart last of all. 1,400 to go. Rose of Portland's gone up outside. Crying Game to the back now. A length and a half further back, Toil. On the fences, Love Dance. Back in the middle there are Circles of Gold. 2 further back in the race by Kiwi Gold. Inside Salius, who's back now running 7th. A length and a half, Munwar from St Shannon, French Resort, Storm. Then Sharon Tessa further back in the race, Cheviot. They're followed by Doremus up outside, Count Shivers, and 2 lengths last of all to Boart. At the 1,000-metre mark, and the WA Galloper took over now. Crying Game a length in front. Rose of Portland, 1 off the fence, running second. A length further back in the race, Love Dance. Toil is 4th on the outside of Circles of Gold, 2 to Salius. Then by Kiwi Gold back on the inside, further back Sharon Tessa, and Storm are starting to pull out and make their runs with Munwar. Doremus starting to come into the race, pull to the outside, further back in the race then. At the head of the others came Boart to the outside from French Resort, and Count Shivers pushing up in the middle. They're bunching up now. It's Crying Game tackled by Salius and Rose of Portland, a length into Storm. Doremus, the widest runner, coming around the outside. On the bend, they race 600 metres to go in the Turnbull, and Salius going up to Rose of Portland. Storm further out, and here's Doremus. Doremus is starting to level up on the outside. 2 lengths to Boart, coming home well at the 350-metre mark, and Doremus has hit the front. Rose of Portland's gone. Boart on the outside is after Doremus. They come away from Salius. Then Cheviot and Storm. Doremus on the inside is lifting, though, the Cup winner. He's drawn a length in front of Boart. Then further back, Cheviot to 3rd. But the Cup winner is back this year, bigger and better than ever. It's all Doremus. A length and a half to Boart. 3 away, 3rd Cheviot. Then came Love Dance from Salius, followed by Storm. Circles of Gold back behind those. My Kiwi Gold from Munwar. Further back, St Shannon, followed and behind them by Crying Game. Then Count Shivers. Rose of Portland knocked right up with French Resort. Near the tail, Toil, and tailed off is Sharon Tessa.
Number 1, Doremus, 370 and 170. 8 Boart, 11.40 and 10 Cheviot, $9.80.
1 Doremus to pay $361.80. Number 8 for second, Boart to return $10.60, and number 10 Cheviot to pay $6.90. Correct weight, Gold Coast. Back to Brian, moving up Canberra.
Through winning the Caulfield and the big one, the Melbourne Cup. And today from back of the field, similar win in so many ways to the Melbourne Cup. He just made that ground so rapidly between the 1,000 and the 600. He can quicken like a top-class Group 1 horse. He just goes quickly to them. He joined in. Boart looked as though he was going to make a great race of it as he emerged from the pack, or she did, this little mare. She loomed up. But he pulled plenty, Doremus, and he drew clear to win the Turnbull Stakes today.
good level start, plate. Standard weight for age. And and the gates fly back. They're racing. The Penny was first away. Saintly is in close attendance and moving forward quickly. Electronic, and right around them is the 3-year-old Adventurous, and he's going to go to the lead at the end of 200. Adventurous, 2 or 3 lengths on the stablemate Electronic. To the Penny, ahead to Saintly, the outsider couple Zaremba travelling on the fence over Ken Bell. 2.5 to Praise Indeed, and about 3/4 to Donor on the rails. Well, Adventurous slips away, working past the 1600 metres, and opens up about 5-6 lengths now on Electronic, who's under a straight. Saintly third at the quarters of Electronic, and then the Penny after 1 to Ken Bell. Nearly 2 lengths Zaremba, 1 Praise Indeed, and about 2 lengths to Donor. This is the order going down the back of the track, and Adventurous really keen to run. Die well up in the irons, and past the 1200 it's Adventurous by 10 lengths on Saintly. In third spot Electronic, 2 lengths to Ken Bell, nearly a length the Penny, and then comes Praise Indeed on the outside of Zaremba, and 2.5 lengths to Donor. As they come out of the back straight and race onto the High Street side, passing the 950, and Adventurous leads by 4 or 5 lengths on Saintly, 1.5 to Ken Bell. Over on the fence is Electronic, then the Penny. Wider out Praise Indeed, Zaremba the inside, and still last is Donor, back about 10 lengths from Adventurous. As they head along past the 700, and Adventurous only 2.5 lengths on Saintly, getting closer with every bound. Ken Bell third now from Electronic and the Penny, and then Zaremba, Praise Indeed, and Donor's last of all. Coming to the home corner in the Craven Plate, Die has a quick peep on both sides. Aboard Adventurous, and the 3-year-old straightens up 1.5 on Saintly, in hot pursuit. 3 lengths to Ken Bell, and then Electronic down to the 250, and Adventurous still about a length clear on Saintly, giving his all. He's getting to Adventurous past the 200. Saintly, Beatman riding for dear life, almost level with Adventurous, and then Donor, Saintly and Adventurous stride for stride. Saintly, Adventurous kicking back on the inside, and the 3-year-old wins. Adventurous a half head, Saintly third, Donor 4, Ken Bell. Electronic next, followed home by Praise Indeed. The Penny was second last, and Zaremba last.
On the Super Tab, number 8, Adventurous, a clear second pick there, 8, 10 and 170 over the favourite. 3 Saintly, 1 even, and number 4, Donor, 160.
Took him to the lead, had a big lead. And then he steadied him, and he went full bore. The big chestnut got to him, looked as though he'd beat him, Saintly. But Saintly with 57, Adventurous with 49. It certainly proved a decisive factor as the horses reached the post. Number 8, Adventurous, 8.30 and 160. Number 3, Saintly, has paid 110. And third placing going to number 4, and that's Donor at $1.70. Officially fourth was number 7, Ken Bell. The overall time was 2.2. 2.2, that's only 0.01 outside of the record held by Ostensible. 2-2, and the sectional breakdown in a moment. Adventurous trained by Gay Waterhouse for herself and Tony Huang, so it's been a big day because Tony, of course, and Tommy Smith are part owners in Magic of Sydney. And like an earlier winner today, King Ivor, this winner, Adventurous by Fairy King, who's of course the sire of Encosta de Lago, from a mare called Tynea, a bay colt 3, and well, probably should have won last week in the Dulcify when you think about it more and more. 8, 3 and 4. Quinella $3 in New South Wales, Exacta $16, Trifecta $57. Well, I'm sure Saintly hasn't lost any cast from the Metropolitan point of view on Monday next, but I tell you what, the way this Waterhouse stable is firing, and with Hula Flight on the up and up, with, of course, Nothing Like a Dane and 5 others in the Metrop, don't be surprised to see the Queen of the Turf do it again. Rodney.
15-2-8 at Kembla.
Okay, let's have a look at the...
They're off and running now. Scorbic bounced quickly with Will Fly down on the inside. They've jumped away pretty well. Behind them, Dorobe. Kitty Cat showing some speed from further back. Shiosaki, Fairway, Lass, Laurel Grove. Simply Believe sitting out deep from Prey, Forain, Our Cashel. Karma Biting and Lamorni last of all. 1,300 to go as Scorbic. Kept the lead, led by a length, Kitty Cat. Third is Fairway, Lass, Will Fly fourth. Then Shiosaki, Dorobe, Laurel Grove. Further back, Prey, Forain, Our Cashel. Simply Believe, 2 to Karma Biting, 2 last of all, Morny. At the 1,000-metre mark, they race in a Scorpic out 1.5 Kitty Cap, one further back Fairway Lass. No change in the order. Fourth on the inside as Will Fly, then Shiosaki. Around Derobe, in on the fence, Pray for Rain, one to Laurel Grove. Alcashel got up on the inside, a length and a half, Simply Believe, about 8 lengths from the lead. Two behind it, Karma Biting and Lamorny last of all. 800 out, and the leader here is a Scorpic, about a half length in front now from Kitty Cat, and Fairway Lass third from Will Fly, a length, then Shiosaki, followed by Pray for Rain. Laurel Grove now asked to go as Simply Believe, coming around the outside from Karma Biting. Derobe's dropped right out to last, not going anywhere, and Lamorny second last. A Scorpic first for home now from out wide on the track. Fairway Lass going out after it. Back in the middle, Will Fly. They've broken 3 lengths. Simply Believe, Shiosaki. Karma Biting making some ground, but these leaders have got away, and a Scorpic. A Scorpic's 2 in front now from Fairway Lass and Will Fly. 5 lengths further back, Karma Biting and Simply Believe, but a Scorpic down inside the 200 extends, puts 3 lengths now on Fairway Lass. Karma Biting pulling great ground out in the middle, is coming home well, but a Scorbic's got a winning break, and a Scorpic wins 3 lengths, 2.5 from the run of the line. Karma Biting, good run second, 2 away third.